House of the Dragon is too fucking good. This show is honestly unbelievable in every fucking aspect. And I'm gonna get into it. But before I do, what's wrong with Larry Strong being obsessed with the queen's feet? The king just died. Business needs to be handled. And your focus on that was crazy to me. Let's get into this House of the Dragon episode 9 review. Hello. This is your boy Brandon Correia, aka Earfutton Entertainment, and we are back with another review. And the review we got today is House of the Dragon episode 9, and we got a big one today. So us Game of Thrones fans know that episode 9 is usually the episode that pops everything off, and this episode is basically the start of the Dance of the Dragons, the start of the feuds between the Greens and the Blacks, Rhaenyra and Daemon and that side, Alicent, Otto Hightower, and the Greens and that side. Now I just want to start with saying that this episode, I'm going to focus on this episode, but just generally this show, the acting, absolutely amazing. The cinematography, absolutely amazing. The dragons, and I'm going to talk about that, but the dragons look fucking amazing. The score, amazing. The story, amazing. The character relationships and dynamics, amazing. Every aspect of this show is hitting on every cylinder. Like, this show is just firing and smoothly too. Like, it's so good. It's honestly so good. I just wanted to get that out of the way. But the episode starts with kind of foreshadowing what a lot of us have been suspecting, but we see that the King Viserys the Peaceful, we find out that he finally passed, and he passed right after or in the middle of the night after he had that conversation with Alicent. So it takes place the day, hours after the last episode. And I know usually we're used to these time jumps, but this particular episode takes place right after episode 8. So we see one of the servant boys pass a message on to Alicent's maid or one of her servants, and she's the one that translates the message to Alicent. But we know as the audience that the girl that translated the message to her was the same one working for, I can't remember the character's name, but the one that was, the girl that was with Daemon in the beginning, that was kind of keeping him safe and watching over him. So that's basically saying that the news of the king is out. It's out there. It then jumps to the small council meeting with the queen, Otto Hightower, the head of the Lannister family, the master of coin. Just all the members of the small council are gathered. And Alicent and Otto relay the message to them that the king has died and that his last wish was for Aegon, his firstborn son, to be on the throne, which we know as the audience that wasn't the case. But there is one member of the small council that's like, I'm not just going to let this fly. We heard from his mouth that he wanted Rhaenyra on the throne, so we can't just do this. And he stated, he's like, I've known Viserys longer than anybody in this room. So he's showing some pushback to this, and we see Christian Cole just kind of get angry and just try and sit him down and smash his head on the table, dead. Instantly. I was like, yo, that's how we're starting the episode. But we see the small council basically coming together to try and usurp the throne from Rhaenyra. And we find out that a couple of the members, Otto Hightower and 2 of the other members, were kind of planning this for a while. It's just Alicent didn't know about it, and she was kept in the dark. So because this plan was in motion to kind of get Aegon on the throne, they started to carry out actions to kind of further enforce that. We see them lock Princess Rhaenys in her room, and I've been a fan of her character, and I really love her character, and I'm gonna get into why. This is a spoiler review if you obviously haven't seen, but I'm gonna get into that ending. If you watch this episode, you know what ending I'm talking about. Princess Rhaenys, we see her locked in her room. They lock her in her room because obviously she has been supporting Rhaenyra the whole time. We saw that Rhaenyra went back to Dragonstone, so she's not in King's Landing. She's unaware of her father's passing. But while Princess Rhaenys is locked in her room, Team Green basically is starting to orchestrate their plan. They're starting to replace certain members in the King's Guard because or the Gold Cloaks because they're close to Daemon. We see them start to organize. They start to look for Aegon. They can't find Aegon, which this is a big thing because they actually need Aegon physically so that they could present him to the realm and actually have the ceremony and pronounce him as king. So a lot of this episode is basically focused on them finding Aegon. So it's really fixed in this point in time of them. So it's not jumping around at all like a few hours. It's really fixed in this point in time where they're really just trying to get Aegon so that they could put him on the throne as quick as possible before Rhaenyra finds out, so that she can't really challenge it. Like, they want to present him to the realm, to the people, so that the people are like, okay, so that's the king. So if Rhaenyra tries to come and she's like, oh, I'm the actual person that should be on the throne, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? We just had a ceremony for the king. Like, you know what I mean, move. So as they try and look for Aegon, we see that Aegon is actually lost and they can't find him. So we see Otto Hightower. There's two sets of people basically looking for him. We see Christian Cole and Aemond. And yo, shout out Aemond. Aemond didn't get much in this, but yo, shout out him in the tight black outfit, looking swagged out. The long hair is tough. Yo, the eye patch is actually tough. His demeanor is actually just like dope. Like, I really like Aemond as a character. He's actually one of my favorite characters. And I really, really, really am interested to see how his character plays out in the rest of this show and the rest of the series, knowing now that there is a part of him that he revealed in this episode that he does want the throne, and he voiced that he should be more fitted to be sitting on it. So I'm very, very interested in Aemond. So we see two sets. We see Aemond and Christian Cole, and then we see these two brothers from the King's Guard or the Gold Cloaks or whatever, working for Otto Hightower, looking for Aegon. So as Christian Cole and Aemond are checking brothels and a lot of the areas that Aegon likes to visit, they approach an area where they see the two brothers, the other sets of people looking for Aegon, Otto Hightower actually in a hood out here talking to the brothel owner that Daemon was close with. I can't remember her name. I'm blanking on her name. There's so many names. We find out that she's actually holding Aemon hostage and she's trying to bribe them. She's like, you remember when he's on the throne, I was the one that put him there. I could have easily killed him, whatever, right? Basically just trying to blackmail them. And Otto Hightower's like, don't worry, I'll remember. They give the girls some silver or some, obviously, gold, some currency, whatever, some money, and we see them go about their business, right? We then see the two brothers end up finding Aegon, and as they're trying to take him back to Otto Hightower, we see Christian Cole and Aemond run up on the two brothers. The one brother is kind of voicing his concern for Aegon being on the throne the whole time. Even though he's searching for Aegon, he's just like, this guy spends all his time doing all this stuff and we're supposed to be supporting this guy for king. So as this fight's ensuing, the one brother kind of just goes off because he's like, yo, honestly, like, Aegon's a clown. Like, I can't be doing this. So the one brother's fighting Christian Cole, he gets disarmed, and we see Aemond tackle Aegon, and they have a moment and they end up bringing him back to Alicent. So he is in Alicent's custody. We see a conversation between Alicent and Otto where Alicent is like, you haven't really loved me. You've just been using me as a chess piece, moving me around the board, but I have Aegon now. So like, whatever I say, it goes. Like, whatever we're doing going forward, it's my shot. And there was a great conversation between Rhaenys and Alicent where it was like two queens just having this conversation about, we don't get to be on the throne. We have to take care of the men and kind of guide the men that are on it, right? And then we get to this point where Rhaenys goes to Alicent and she's like, you're doing all this stuff, but she's like, have you never envisioned yourself on the Iron Throne? And you see her you see Alicent get emotional, and she kind of like takes her hands away and she walks off and she's like, ring the bell when you're ready for an answer, when you're ready to tell us your answer. So just throughout this episode, we see the Greens just plotting and planning and just setting pieces in place. And as this is happening, it's just really tense. The music is tense. The entire atmosphere is just tense because it's like, you know, something's going to pop off. It's like, as the audience, we're like, how is Rhaenyra and the other side gonna find out, and what's gonna happen? What's gonna be the real pop-off point? A somewhat important part that I missed was we see Otto Hightower trying to get all the support away from Rhaenyra by even threatening, killing people, all of that. Like, they basically trapped all the people that pledged their banners in the throne room, and they were like, Aegon's the new king, either pledge or you know what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? And two of them leave. There's one that the entire show we see that he's team Rhaenyra, and because he's scared for his life, he ends up bending the knee and pledging his allegiance. But we see him trying to escape so that he could get to Rhaenyra or get a message off to Rhaenyra, but they end up hanging him because Larys Strong ended up snitching to Otto Hightower on him. And yo, quickly on Larys Strong, what's wrong with this foot fetish, man? And I don't want to be king shaming. There's nothing wrong with feet fetishes, okay? I don't want to be getting into this right now. But in the context of the episode, I was just like, Larys, yo, what's wrong with this man? Leave the queen. Like, the Queen Alicent, as much as she's, you know what I mean, doing some stuff, she does genuinely have like a good heart, and she is like one of the few kind of good people in the realm, right? She made sure to tell Otto, like her dad, that if we do this, Rhaenyra's not getting killed or anything. We're sending negotiations to her so that we could kind of end this peacefully. Like, we're not killing her. So she is a good person. So for her to just have to take off her shoes, take off her socks, and just put her feet up on the table so the man could watch, I was like, damn, yo, how you gonna do this to my girl Alicent? Damn, Larys Strong. And he ended up killing the brothel owner that Daemon was close with. Watch Daemon find out that you did that to that girl. Watch him bun you up with Syraxis, bro. Yo. So now just briefly covering the last part of the episode, the big part of the episode, we see, I think it's the dragon pit where they kind of gather all the people from King's Landing, or the majority of people from King's Landing. They set up everything so that they could do the ceremony. We see Otto Hightower, chin up, just feeling proud, been trying to get to this moment where his grandson, Alicent's son, he's been planning for years. He's been planning for years to get this particular grandson on the throne. So chin is up and he's pronouncing to the dragon pit that Aegon is your new king, that King Viserys has died, and that his last dying wish was to put Aegon on the throne. And we see the reveal of Aegon. We see this nice march out of the knights. He comes to the front. We see him a little nervous and timid. And there's a ceremony. We see him indicted. We see Christian Cole put the crown of Aegon the First on his head. And then he turns around and he is pronounced by Otto that this is your king. And everybody starts to clap, and you see that he's a little timid and a little unsure of it. But as everybody starts to clap, it starts to go to his head. And you see that the type of person that he is and the type of king that he's going to be. It's foreshadowed, right? He's not going to be a great king. And I'm pretty sure that continues. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a change of heart and he just becomes mad mature and mad focused like Aemon. I'm pretty sure he's just going to be running amok as a king. We just had a peaceful king with King Viserys. So we got to go with a crazy king, a mad king. Maybe not be a mad king, but just a not so great king, because he's going to be drinking and just having sex all the time, right? So we see him just taking in this moment. He's just like holding up his thing like, right? And there's a nice shot from behind him and kind of the people below him and him just really taking it in. It was beautiful. This show is shot beautifully. This show is absolutely amazing, right? And as he's taking it in, we see this explosion in the middle of the dragon pit. And my jaw dropped, because when I looked at the time on the episode at this point, when he was looking out, right, I thought it was going to finish. I thought the episode was done. But then I saw that there was still like a couple minutes left. Boom, this blew up. My jaw dropped because I was like, yo, did someone blow up the place like Cersei did the Sept in Game of Thrones? Because the setting looked kind of similar, and even Rhaenys kind of creeping around the side kind of looked like Marjorie Tyrell kind of creeping around when she realized Cersei wasn't in the building. Like, I honestly thought someone planted something. Like, I was so confused what was happening. We just see people getting dropped and dashed, and we see a dragon just come out of the middle, and my jaw was dropped because I was just like, yo, who is running up on the spot? And for some reason, I honestly thought that it might have been Daemon, or somehow it might have been Rhaenyra. Like, somehow a message got out to them and they somehow made it back. I don't know why I didn't think that it would be Rhaenys. We see Rhaenys sneak off to the side and sneak off, but I'm guessing because they were in the dragon pit, that's where the dragons were staying. Now I'm piecing it together as I'm talking about it. I'm piecing it together. So I think because they were in the dragon pit, they were keeping the dragons down there, she just snuck off and was like, yo, my dragon's right here. I'm gonna run up on this whole place. So she comes out the middle. Not only did she just come out on the dragon, she had armor on too, Take that in. She had armor on. Rhaenys had armor, and it looked so tough. Her armor looked so, she was ready for battle. So we see her on her dragon, tail swinging, knocking people. People are crashing through the floor. People are just getting dashed. They're trying to close the door. Otto's like, open the door for them. The knights are still closing the door. And then we get this amazing shot. It's a frontal shot of Rhaenys armored up and the dragon. You see a nice look of her dragon. Yo, like, this show is so sick. And it's like it just uses the dragons just to kind of add that off factor a little bit. It's nothing major, nothing special, but it just adds that little touch of them to be like, fuck, this shit is amazing. It's amazing anyway, but just to add that nice little cherry on top, because the look of that dragon, when it kind of zoomed in on him and he was just looking at Team Green, like, yo, she could have Dracarys that entire family right Dessa and dropped them, right? But she didn't do that. She was like, you know what? Y'all want to do this? Okay, we could do this a different way. We're gonna go to battle. Y'all want to usurp the throne like this? Alicent, you wanted my answer? Here's my answer. And we see the dragon just let out a deadly roar to all of them, right? And then she just stares at them. That's my answer. You know what I mean? She's telling them that's my answer. Okay, it's a Dance of the Dragons thing. It's a war thing. We're warring. That's my answer. You want it? I'm out. And I'm going to go get my niece. I'm going to go get Rhaenyra. I'm going to go get Daemon. And we go run up here with our dragons. It's going to be a thing. And the episode ends with Rhaenys flying out of the dragon pit on her dragon. And it's like a nice colored red. Oh, it was so sick just seeing her dragon fly off. Such a great episode. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Honestly, we got one episode left in the season. I'm excited. I'm also sad that it's ending, but episode 10 is for sure going to be good because we should see Rhaenyra and Daemon find out that Viserys is dead. And not only that, that they tried to usurp the throne. So they're both going to be pissed. But yeah, like I said, this show is honestly amazing. It is firing on all cylinders. This shit is not missing. Every episode is a Barry Bonds home run out of the fucking park. Okay, like this shit is amazing. And I can't keep, I know I keep repeating myself, but this is what elite looks like. This show is elite on every single level. We could break it down on every type of level that what makes up a TV show, and it is elite and performs elite in every single area. So that is it for my House of the Dragon episode 9 review. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you think you'd be interested in content like this, subscribe to the Brandon Correia Network. I got TV show reviews, movie reviews. I'm gonna go see Black Adam this week, so I'm gonna be dropping the review for that. Tales of the Jedi is coming out very soon. I'll drop a review for that. I do trailer reactions. This is your place for entertainment news. All that good stuff. If you're interested in content like that, subscribe to the Brandon Correia Network. You will not regret it. The Dance of the Dragons is about to pop off. It's about to be a beef, a civil war thing. We finally here. We here. The war has started. I appreciate you for watching. Catch you next time.